Welcome, y'all. It's Monday night, and we are back on the curve.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
We're so excited. How you doing, friend?
I am spectacular.
Wonderful. Well, it is your girl, Shannon Deneen, and I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Miss Melissa Waller. Tell the people where they can find you before we get started.
You can find me at Saving Superwoman on Instagram.
You can find me at Shannon Deneen on the gram, on the book, and on the Twitter. Friend,
Please.
find me on the Twitter, y'all, because I'm out there and
Jesus.
I'm talking to the people. I'm clapping at the people on Twitter.
Lord help me.
But it's okay.
Help
Listen,
me, Jesus.
this week I have done less. I will say that. I've done less clapbacks on Twitter this week than any other week in history.
Why?
Because I've been busy.
Okay.
The Miss Plus World pageant.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, the Miss Plus World pageant was this past Friday and Saturday, and I was gone. I had to prep for it, and then I had to go to the pageant. Shout out to Dr. Jennifer Jackson, who is the new Miss Intercontinental Plus World, and shout out to Sonoe, and I'm going to mess up her last name, Tulile, who is the new Miss Plus World. Shout out to you two ladies. They did a fantastic job at the pageant. But yeah, I was busy, so I couldn't get on the Twitter.
Oh,
I couldn't get on the Twitter.
thank you.
Don't do that.
Thank you, busy.
Don't do that.
You busy.
Listen, people need it. People need these clapbacks on Twitter. They need them.
Why?
They need them.
Why, friend?
They be out here acting
But
up.
you don't know them.
I don't. And listen.
And I think that's what you like. You like the fact that you don't know them, so you can really go in
I
on
can go
them.
in. I can tell the people what I think.
Did you listen to Tony's podcast?
Which
Tony G. Campbell.
Tony G. Campbell.
We see you.
Yes.
Hey, friend.
I did not listen this past week, but I listened last week. Which one? What was the one this week about?
I didn't listen either.
Okay.
But we're going to have to go back because, you can find her on Twitter, Instagram,
SoundCloud,
all the podcasts,
iTunes, YouTube,
Spotify,
all of them.
Apple,
Stitcher, Twitcher,
TikTok.
all of you can find Tony G. Campbell. Shout out to you, Tony G. Oh, y'all, we got such a full show. We have so many things to talk about. We have all the things. So the theme of this show, y'all, is we're gonna talk about women and self-care. That's what we're going for. This is the self-care and the lack thereof.
Right. Because you know what? I have decided, let's just throw this out here. I don't know if we talked about this, but I shared with some friends that I am going to get a transporter for my child. I'm going to hire a transporter. Shout out to Spelman College because they have some type of transporter system set up. And all of my friends have been talking about it.
Really?
I spend a ton of time in the car running back and forth. When I come over to your house.
Yeah.
Picking my child up, dropping her off, rushing here, rushing there. How about I'm going to get a student? I guess it's like $10, $15 an hour. They pick the child up from school. So Spelman College does the background check.
Okay.
They are usually, I believe, in their like college of education or whatever it is. They're education students.
Okay.
And they work one-on-one. They have like this whole nanny system going on. So they pick the child up. You interview them. You can interview them. You see who you want to work with. They pick the child up from school, take them to your house. Like nanny, right from an AU center. Yeah. Because you got to think, I was going to 3-4 different counties.
That's facts. Listen, this one was traveling
Lord.
From her job to Milan to back to whatever meeting she had in the third, like all over 285.
I did 4 counties in one day.
Yeah, the day you had to pick up all her stuff for school.
No, that was 5. I'm talking about, you got to remember, I would start off in the cab, take her to school in Gwinnett, go to work in Fulton, come back through the cab to go to Gwinnett to pick her up from school, and then on days we came here, drive out here
to Douglas,
to
Douglasville.
And then sometimes it just depends on if I had meetings. And think about the days that I had to drive to Augusta, or I had to drive to Macon.
That's not God's will.
Yeah.
So a transporter. It's not, girl. It's not God's will.
It wasn't, and that's why he said, "Let there be light."
Yes.
Damn, transporters. There it is.
Okay, so wait, people. Now, so listen. I need some comments though, because I feel
It's like an Uber for kids.
It's
a
like
trusted
an
Uber for kids.
Okay, but how? I don't know these people. Like
Right, you're right. And you know what? And here's the thing. So
y'all feel that
the
in
program,
my spirit.
she will have a cell phone.
Okay.
And I plan to put something in her shoes.
Okay.
I plan to put something in her shoes. So it's not like it's like if you got a babysitter, if you hired a babysitter, if you hired a college student to be a nanny. Look at it that way. I've had a nanny before. We got into this conversation. Okay, so I went to this cool retreat called Project Understanding, right?
Okay.
With the Atlanta Black Jewish Coalition. And they bring young black professional leaders and young Jewish leaders together, and you all talk about your communities, culture, economics, politics. You talk about it all. So that was one of the things that came up, like self-care. So I don't have a problem with getting a transporter, because at the end of the day, it's really about my self-care. And we were talking about my nanny. So many of you may not know this, but my nanny is white. A white woman in her 50s. She's my neighbor, Miss Pam. Shout out to Miss Pam. I love Miss Pam.
Shout out to Miss Pam. Hey, girl.
And Miss Pam is also a Republican. Right?
See.
So here's the thing. And so people were asking me, why didn't I have a problem? So Miss Pam would pick Milan up from school.
Sorry.
And when Miss Pam would pick Milan up from school, she would have to, she's also the neighborhood dog walker. So she would go and pick the dogs up from school, pick Milan up. They would go to her house and get the dogs. So in the meantime, sometimes some of the dogs Milan couldn't go with her.
Okay.
And because they were just too big. But she and her husband and the other child that she watches, they watch Fox News. And so Milan was telling me, they watch Fox News. She said, there's some crazy stuff on there. And I'm like, they talk about all kinds of stuff. So I have a special kid. Like, my kid is socialized around adults.
And she is, she's smarter than some of us. Let's just be real. Let's just put it out there. Like, Milan is smarter than many adults that I've had conversations with. She's curious. She's intuitive.
Miss Pam let her watch. This is like during the elections. They're watching Fox News. And Miss Pam is telling her why she supports Donald Trump. Well, hey, no problem, because the real world, people do support Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
Like, there are people
how he got elected
that's
in the first
right.
place.
So I'm honest. I'm glad I know she went in there and voted for him. You know what I mean? So
Tell
I know
me
where she coming from.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's a bunch of my
Don't
neighborhood. You put your zip code in and find out how the majority voted.
Yeah.
My neighborhood majority voted red.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
Georgia is a red state.
They're watching, and Miss Pam tells her that she likes Donald Trump because of what he's doing for entrepreneurship, small business owners, all this good stuff, right?
Okay.
And Milan says, but Miss Pam, he grabs women by the private.
Tell him, Milan. Tell the people. Where's he grabbing the women?
How could you support a man that sticks his hand in women's privates?
I need to bring Milan on Twitter with me.
No, because she'll be at school under the table. No.
Yes. That's my baby. I don't care what none of y'all say. That's my baby.
She said, Miss Pam told her, but he just grabbed one. So Miss Pam got fired. Miss Pam did we're still cool, but she got fired. And so when I went to this conference, yeah,
Miss Pam better be glad the only thing she got was fired.
So the thing about it is,
you so
but
good
I know where she is. I know where, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want my kid to grow. I don't want my kid to grow up.
Fair.
That's why I have a transporter and a new nanny now.
Fair.
Because I know, like, be who you are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to fake it.
Fair.
And so that's what I was explaining to them. Like, I didn't have a problem with Miss Pam keeping her and her watching Fox News. Just like there are programs, if somebody white came into my family that we watched, that their parents, I know for a fact that there's some white people that couldn't go over to my grandparents' house. Because my granddaddy, it's some words he's not going to stop using, just period. He don't care who you are. All y'all so-and-so. You know what I mean? So, but the thing about it is, it's real life.
It is.
And I had to explain to her, that's how people behave. That's how they really feel. And so this is how you disengage. Okay. There has to be a life lesson. We don't mix company, not because she supports Donald Trump, but she supports sexual assault against women, and we do not minimize that.
No, we don't.
So that's the lesson.
And my baby knew that up front. It was like, that's what's not what we ain't finna do. is
Yes.
grab them by the privates.
Yeah,
That's not what
that's
we're
just like,
doing.
and she told Miss Pam the other day. So I live, there are two black families in my complex where we live. And I'm one of them. So I'm laying in the bed the other night. Did I tell you about this? So it's like 4:30 in the morning. I'm talking to the Lord and trying to listen. And I'm in there, my eyes closed. And I hear, DeKalb County Police. I'm like, oh, Lord. So for those of you who don't know me personally, I have 2 broken toes. So I have a boot on my foot right now. Girl, I ain't heard a knock like that since I was back in Flint. I had to jump up. And I was going, girl, I went out on the patio, baby. They were in the bushes. The special units from DeKalb County. So I go and I'm looking and the man is fanning me back and I'm trying to see what's going on. Because you know where I live, I done paid good money to live over here.
Come on now.
I'm across the street from a good Sprouts. So I ain't expecting all of this. This is what I expected from the cousins in there.
At the Big Bear.
Yeah.
Across from the Big Bear.
Yeah,
we don't live across from the Big Bear.
Oh, Piggly Wiggly. We ain't no Piggly Wiggly
This
neighborhood.
is not a Piggly Wiggly neighborhood.
So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So I done got up, baby. I had my cell phone. And I walked over to my patio and I'm looking out, and the man, I mean, they had big assault rifles. Wow. And he's fanning me back, and I'm like, oh shoot. So I'm trying to see, girl, one of my neighbors. What happened? Honey, Miss Katie. Ooh. Miss Katie that went over there, and her husband is doing something. Her husband doing something. Baby, they had the SUV, the special units they had. And I noticed something. But see, when you're, okay, so being raised in Flint, I always knew when they were getting ready to do a raid. Yeah. We had this one neighbor that had a beautiful house. And she passed and left it to her grandson. So the grandson was the trap house. It became the trap house in a very nice neighborhood. In a very nice neighborhood. So whenever they were getting ready to raid, traffic would pick up. You would see people picking up, or you would see like random cars like parked, but the windows would be tinted. And so I came home from work and I said, I don't know who car is parked right here with this tint on this window in my spot. You know, we have I park in the same place in my neighborhood. Everybody parks in the same spot. I know, you know what's going on.
DeKalb County, you're not
Girl, let me tell you. All the unmarked cars were all out there. So I said, I took some pictures and I done text my neighbors. Of course you did,
Detective Waller.
Listen, let me tell you something. My mother was president of the block club, the Fair Shalom block club, so I know what to do. You know Baby, the Saints used to be in the driveway with their Bibles writing down license plates. Baby, let me tell you something.
Come on, Saints.
I know how to catch them.
Yeah.
So I took some pictures. And I texted them to Miss Pam and the lady who lives under me, Miss Penny. Here they come. Now, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. They outside walking dogs. I said, well, you know what? If they walking dogs, let me go down here, too.
With your boot.
Baby, let me tell y'all something. Just excuse me, because I was full Flint. I had on my headscarf, I had on my boot and my robe. And I done went downstairs. Now, you know it took me almost 10 minutes to get down all them stairs. And I walked out, and I said, what is going on? And the police said, everything's going, no, it's not too good, because I'm looking at y'all wheeling stuff out of that house. Yeah. And people screaming. Well, here comes Miss Pam. Well, you know, Katie has that crazy husband. Oh, no. We're not going to change the narrative up. Because, Miss Pam, you've been over there breaking bread with Miss Katie.
With Miss Katie.
So what was going on?
What y'all doing over there?
So here comes Miss Pam's husband. He said, yeah, used to smell like plenty of reefer up in there. Oh, yeah. He's over there doing that meth. Making that meth. Now let me see the narrative. But the narrative, Milan said, Mommy, did you hear when the other neighbor dated someone of color? She said, ooh, he looks real sketchy. But with her, she said, oh, the husband. The husband was doing crazy stuff. She said, how do you live with someone and you don't know what they're doing?
You don't.
Come on, so I know I'm raising a soldier.
Intuitive, Milan, you sure don't. And no, Tony, Melissa is not changing anybody's name. The innocent are not being protected. They out there because this is what you did.
Yeah, because that's what they do. Yeah. They do. They done called me and asked me. Yeah. Are you still living in your house? Excuse me? Are you moving? Why? Because we were at the HOA meeting the other day. If y'all don't get yours about
Of
my business.
my business. Business.
Because that's the thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
we have to live in a world, and I always talk to Milan about the narratives.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
the
We
narratives.
have to be
And so
careful.
it's so important for me that she engages with people that are not black as well as those who
Absolutely.
are. And so she
Absolutely.
knows this isn't everyone. Mommy
Yeah.
has some great friends that does not look like her,
Of every
and they
color.
love you, and they have kids that can play. So
Absolutely. Of every color. Absolutely. We're going to talk about some narratives tonight because we got some people on the list with some narratives.
I saw that.
You saw the list? You
saw
you
it.
synced it? All right, y'all. So we can get into it. It's time for Word on the Street. Whoo, child, y'all. Word on the street is that Janet Jackson is out here acted up because unlike Melissa, Janet Jackson said she ain't got no nanny. She don't need no nanny. And Janet Jackson was in. She was did a interview with the Daily Telegraph and said, "I am a working mother." I'm gonna read the quote. She said, "It's hard being a working mother." The singer, 53, told Daily Telegraph Stellar magazine, "I don't have a nanny. I do it all myself, of course. When I'm working, someone else watches him, but it's just my baby and me."
Well, hell, she waited long enough to have the kid. Of course, it's gonna be just the two of them. Just the two of them. Yeah. Well, who else gonna be there? She close to damn retirement age. I'm sorry, Monica.
Janet Jackson, but here's the thing. Janet Jackson is one of the most iconic entertainers in America, right? And still, I feel like she's a little bit older than us. So I feel like she's a lot older than us.
Okay.
So, but I feel like there's a narrative from the generation before us that doesn't accept help. Because like you feel real confident
To
in
me,
you
she's
getting a
still
nanny.
in crisis from that divorce.
Perhaps.
She's in crisis.
So that's the question on the table. And I want you guys to chime in because I want to hear your comments out there in live land. Why is it that we have such a hard time as women accepting help? Because like Janet Jackson she got all these munties and all the ability to have someone you're 53,
I don't
ma'am.
believe that.
You don't believe that?
I don't believe, man, you have a kid.
Yeah,
you got
I
a
do.
little boy.
I do.
So I don't believe if Janet don't have help now, she's gonna get help in a couple of years.
She might. Yeah, she's
gonna get help because right now he's at a cute age where she can probably nurse or do whatever. But once he really starts moving around, and the thing about it is, we talked about this weekend.
We did.
Just I forgot what the term is, but it's basically when something is transgenerational things that are passed down. However, I've explained to my mother, my mother could never watch this show. Like she couldn't, because she would be somewhere trying to call in and talk trash. First of all, my mother is in denial about how much help my grandmother gave her.
Yeah.
First of all, my grandmother lived across the street, like behind us, rather.
Yeah.
So when we got out, instead of having a key to my house, I had a key to my grandmother's house. My grandmother cooked every single day, so my mother had an option on if she wanted to cook or not.
Yeah.
My mother, she used to wash clothes, and my grandmother would come over there and just fold them, just sit there and fold all the clothes. So, and you ask my mom, she was like, "Girl, I cleaned up. I did everything. I had to work. I had to." One day, my grandmother was like, "Just let her have it." Just let her have it.
Said, "Don't even fight that."
Yeah, just let her have it. And I'm like, because somewhere in that narrative, you feel like less of a woman.
Yes.
Less of a mom.
Yes.
Well, I ain't every woman. I'm just gonna tell you. And as long as I can pay Miss Pam, Miss So-and-so, somebody.
Little Keisha from Spelman.
Now I can't have little Keisha.
Keisha can't come over from Spelman?
I'm gonna see if I can get one of the elders. They have a little crew. Somebody sent me somebody that's about 40 that's over at Spelman.
Okay.
Because Milan, I don't need anybody rapping circles or Milan rapping circles around.
Yeah, Milan's smart.
She different. But it's nothing wrong with helping. I ain't gonna let nobody make me feel bad about it.
I'm gonna be honest. I still struggle, and we talked about this.
Yeah.
I still struggle with the need for help. Like I know that having a full-time job,
No, I'm
a
sorry. I'm laughing
part-time
at your
job.
mama.
Yes. I was Jenny is not just not telling the truth. She has help because she is old.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Mama
Thank you,
just,
Miss Molly Ann. She got some help. She
she,
just don't want y'all to drag her. She doesn't want you all to drag her about having him.
Jenny says she ain't got no help. She said it's
I
her
don't
and that
believe that.
baby, and she is out here. But I do. But here's the thing. I don't understand why Janet Jackson, of all people, is feeling some kind of way about saying out loud, "Okay, I have a nanny. I have some
Because
help."
she's older.
But
Because people
she
drug her
young.
for getting pregnant at 50.
But they should have.
So she
They should have drug her
so
for getting-
after getting pregnant at 50, it's like I am enough. That to me, that's the perspective.
Yeah.
I'm enough. I can take care of my baby just like I had my baby at 50. Where there are people that are like, you crazy. Man, I couldn't pop out no baby. I'm not even 40.
Come on now.
And I'm like,
Whew.
these eggs is dusty.
Listen, the factory is closed over here.
Well,
Shut
mine not closed.
It's not closed, friend.
No.
Woo.
But I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I would be afraid to have children at this age.
Okay.
Because I have friends. One of my friends, her dad, she's 41, and her dad is like 89.
Yeah.
She has siblings that are old enough to be her parents. They're in their 60s, 70s, and her dad is like 89, and her mom is in her late 70s.
Okay.
She might be 80.
Okay.
But anyways, like she's super smart, super duper cool, but she makes jokes because one of her legs is longer than the other one. And she said that's because her parents was doing stuff they didn't have no business doing. Now she jacked up for the rest of her life. And she said, because I didn't know.
That's funny.
One day I pulled up and she was parked in handicap, and I was like, fool, why are you in handicap? Because every time I see her, she said, no.
Yeah.
And she just turned 41. She just had a hip replacement.
Oh.
But she says it's because of the genetic factor with her parents being older. And so that would be my fear. But my aunt told me, I was talking to my aunt about this because I said, what if I meet someone that does not have children? Or what if I meet someone that has a child but wants to have one with me?
You are literally on your way to the finish line.
Listen.
What?
That's what she said. She
What
said, don't do what I
possessed you?
did. She said, I was 38 years old when I had him. She said, and it hit me when my daughter walked across the stage at her graduation, and she heard a little voice that said, yay, mommy, my sister is graduating. So she had one graduating and one going to kindergarten.
Listen, let me tell you something. Everybody knows that I adore Kid Wonderful. Like, he is my heart and soul. But if I cannot imagine having anything else, especially at this age, at 38. Let me tell y'all something. Children are for young people, okay? Like,
I'm young at heart.
Yeah, I'm young at heart too. I'm real young at heart.
I just don't think I would have. My thing is I would feel like I would be robbing the baby. Like, I wouldn't be able to give the baby what I gave Milan.
No, you wouldn't.
Like,
Because you'd be
Milan-
tired.
Yeah, because
And
I'm tired
sleeping.
now.
I'm tired now. That's what I'm saying. No, I would not dare. I would not do that to a child. I feel like that is unfair to the child.
But I know some people that have had babies in their 40s, and
Me too.
yeah.
And
Well, one of my sorority sisters, she said one of the reasons she joined Jack and Jill is because everyone her age, their children are adults.
they going on retirement cruises. They on their way out.
So she said she doesn't have any children in her neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have any children within her friend group.
Yes.
So she had to join this group so that her kids could play with other kids their age.
I can't imagine.
And they act like old men.
Yeah, because their mama she's up there.
Well, don't say that because Milan act like an old woman.
No, Milan acts mature, and she is because she's smart. That's different. Back to the topic though. I struggle because I feel like this is a problem.
The mama said adopt.
That won't be happening. I struggle because I feel like here's the problem. As women, so I have this struggle. Like, I think that you can do it all yourself, and you really cannot. Like
It's
they're
not feasible. You break
it's not
yourself
feasible.
down.
And I often do. Like I struggle with sleeping and I have insomnia and I feel like I always feel like I'm not getting enough done and there's
Yeah.
always this huge to-do list. And but I think that comes from generations before me doing things like cleaning up before we have the actual maid
Cleaning
come
people
over.
come over.
The actual cleaning people come
Man,
over
I used to be
and
so mad. I'm telling you, I've never wanted to disrespect my mom ever
ever.
in life. But I'm gonna tell you something. It was times when I thought my mom is slow.
This is
Now,
the
why am
dumbest
I
stuff I've
cleaning
heard.
up before the cleaning lady come over here?
What are we paying her for?
Why?
What are we paying
Why?
her for? And when I was growing up, we didn't really have a cleaning person. Like that wasn't a thing. But I definitely, when I got out and on my own, like I remember specifically a time when I was no kids, no husband. It was just me, but I was feeling very overwhelmed. So I hired the cleaning lady, and like I was trying to clean as she was cleaning. Like she would come, and I would be like, "Oh, let me move that." And she was just looking at me like, "Are you gonna clean or am I gonna clean?" Like it was a struggle, and it was frustrating for both of us. And I
Let me
feel
ask you
like
something.
that's the thing for
If you
for
don't
women.
mind me asking this, what ethnic background was your cleaning person?
She was Hispanic.
Okay.
She was Hispanic. She was Hispanic.
Mine was too.
She was Hispanic,
But
and
I
she
ain't
was.
clean up because I felt like, hey, y'all can talk about me. You can say whatever you want. I don't know you. You don't know me.
I couldn't do it. Like I struggled to like let her clean, and that's the last time I had. No, it's not true. When I moved before we bought this house, I rented a house, and it was the previous owners left it disgusting, and I knew I wasn't going to get it clean in time for us to be able to move in. So I hired a cleaning service, or let me rephrase, the people who own the house hired a cleaning service to help get it to a point where it was livable. But that's really the only time
Let me
I've
tell you
had
something.
cleaning folks
I have
come in.
learned. One of my sorority sisters, I was like, how do you work all of these jobs? Like they are living a grand life.
Yeah.
Like fabulous, over the top, opening schools in Africa, doing this, owning Tim Hortons, owning 3-4 companies.
Yeah.
I was like, how? She said, I have a cleaning lady.
Yep.
I take my clothes to the dry and fold.
That is
She
it.
said because what was happening was she was washing the clothes, they never got folded.
That part.
So now she washes them. She doesn't wash them. She just takes them. She said they put them on she takes her own hangers.
Yes.
So all she does on Sundays, hangs them up in the closet, puts them up away, and they're
actually
good.
very smart. I think my mother actually suggested that for me because I know that the people around me can tell when I get overwhelmed, and my mom be trying to come up. Shut up, my mom.
No, we don't know.
My mom comes up with these. She always has these really wonderful suggestions. And Mama, I know you don't think that I'm paying attention, but I am. Like I just can't internalize it yet. Like I just hadn't internalized and been able to act upon it yet. But like my mom was like, listen, why don't you take? She'll like send me these text messages that have like, hey, I found this wonderful cleaning service, or I found this wonderful wash and fold service, or I found this da 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 da,
and then you really start feeling like I'm not good enough.
Yes.
She over here said she must think my house dirty. Let me tell you something. I'm so glad my mama can't come upstairs.
Yeah. That part. Woo. Yeah, that's it.
Because everybody at the church would know my business.
They would. I'm telling you. So, but here's the thing. I definitely want to get this out, ladies. It's okay to get help, and I'm going to start practicing what I preach.
It's okay to get clinical help.
It's okay to get clinical help.
It's okay to get a nanny.
It's definitely okay to get a cleaning
transporter.
service. Yes. Don't clean up when the cleaning lady's over there.
No.
Don't do it. Just leave. Like that's the thing. Just leave and go somewhere else, to the library. Melissa told me I need to go to the library and spend some time.
Let the people clean. My place. I live in a condo and I don't have one problem. I don't pick nothing up. Because that's what I'm paying. I think some of this is just rebellion from my childhood.
Perhaps, yeah.
So I feel like I had a lady in there cleaning my oven.
Yeah.
Everything. She said, you want me to clean the oven? Yes.
All of that.
Clean the oven. I'll give you a little extra.
Take care of yourself by allowing help. I
And it's
know
okay.
it's okay to get help. Like,
It's
I'm
okay
slowly
to
getting
not
there.
be okay and know that you need help.
And know that you need help, because here's the thing: we're getting, as women, we're getting busier and busier. We're doing more and more things. We feel like we have more and more things to change, we need to do to change the world, and that's okay. You have there are other callings on your life other than cleaning up your house. Like, that's
Let me
not your
tell you
only
something.
calling.
In this season, August will make you feel like you're not good enough as a parent.
It sure will. Oh, it
August,
sure will.
August will make you feel like you really need some help.
Listen,
Cause I was downtrodden.
downtrodden, and here comes Amazon Prime.
Man. Matter of fact, I gotta send you that stuff so we can get the other sweaters.
Yeah.
she been rocking that one sweater.
That was sweater. It make you feel bad. It make you feel like you're not doing your job as a parent, but you are.
Hey,
And it's okay to get help.
put
It's
the
okay to
oxygen
get help.
mask on yourself
And
first.
put the oxygen mask on yourself first. You know what else it's okay to do?
What?
It is okay to let somebody comfort you. It's okay
No, it's
to
not.
be. Yes, it is. So let me tell you.
I believe in paying people to comfort me, and I'm not talking about like not them type of people. But I mean,
not the happy ending people.
Yeah, not the happy ending people. not the,
Not
the
the happy ending
You
people.
remember they had professional huggers?
Oh,
No, I paid.
I thought about doing it at one point in my life. I was like,
clinician.
I could hug people.
You know what? And then I think that he knows some of the people that I talk about, because sometimes when I'm talking to him about people, he is in there cracking up.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, and he said, I can't believe. I said, hey, let me tell you something. Patient client confidentiality. I think that black people and people of color need to be okay with talking to a non-biased party.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so what I meant by being comforted is your girl Serena Williams. Did you hear about this?
Lord, y'all, why don't y'all leave that girl alone?
I'm not bothering Serena. I am actually very proud of Serena. I'm very proud of Serena because here's the thing. So for those of you all who don't know, Serena Williams was participating in the Rogers Cup tournament, and she has had like several injuries. She's had knee injuries, and she's recently had a back injury. And her back, the previous weekend, her back had started to spasm, right?
Right.
And so she pushed through, as we often do. You know, as lots of us do. We're all guilty of this at one
Absolutely.
point or the other. When our body tells us, hey, you need to sit down somewhere, we go, no, we got it. We're going to push through. No, we're going to push through. And that is exactly what Serena did. And in the middle of her match with Oksana, I don't know her last name. I can't pronounce her last name. But in the middle of her match, Serena was like, I can't. I literally can't anymore. And she she retired from the match. And what I loved about this story was that her opponent, Oksana, came over to her and gave her a hug and said, you are a freaking beast. Like, you deserve this. If you need to sit
Because she
down.
was whooping on her.
She was
that pain.
Back
She was
pain
whooping
and
through
all.
that pain.
Back pain, yeah. And so she said, you know what? You're amazing and you're awesome. I love that moment of sisterhood where she said, if you take this time if you need it. And I feel like we don't do that enough. So here's the problem that I had. I was on Twitter. Don't talk about it yet. I was on Twitter, and the problem is that instead of it just being Serena's body is tired, she has had a baby, her body has changed, she is in a different place. There were so many people on Twitter talking about she's overweight. She's overweight. She's too big to play tennis anymore. She's not the legend she purports to be. She's this, that, and the third. And she needs to just stop playing and she needs to just retire. It can't be a back injury. It's got to be a weight problem. So that's why I said I was minimally on Twitter.
So, friend.
Yeah, that's what they said. That's what the people said.
Friend.
That's what they said.
But what's wrong with that? Because that might be true.
What's wrong with that is that her back issue, she was that size beforehand.
My back issues are directly connected to, number one, my cheering at a young age, doing competitive cheer. 2, the amount of accidents I've been in. And 3, all this butt I'm carrying in the back. Like, it's directly, like, I know that my back, the more weight I put on, the more my back hurts. Like,
It doesn't have to be that, is what I'm saying.
It is that.
Well, it is for you, but it's Serena Williams. She's one of
She
the best
is
tennis players in the
aging.
world.
She has been playing tennis since
she
she was
is.
a teenager.
Exactly, and
Probably
that's kind of my
younger than
point.
that. So, with all of that said, it's a factor.
It doesn't. It doesn't. That it might not be a factor.
Please, friend. I know it's called the curve, but them curves done got older.
They are older.
On top of, you have to think about, on top of she carried almost a 10-pound baby.
She did, which
So
is,
after having that baby, after going through all of those surgeries, I'm sure she probably had an epidural. My back has not been the same since I had the epidural.
I understand.
The epidural
but
plus the weight.
My thing is.
So you're saying weight shouldn't be the number one factor?
Exactly. I'm saying they're blaming. Are you saying that
it is a factor?
I'm not saying it may be a factor.
Okay.
But it doesn't. I don't believe that after knee problems and back surgery that we can all of a sudden just say, oh, it's your weight. Like, no,
she is aging.
She is aging. She has all those.
She's aging,
and I think
weight may be a factor.
I think if anything, it would have more to do with the age than the weight.
Okay, but I'm just saying we're not going to say that the weight isn't a factor, because I feel like, yes, she is aging. I give her that. But once my body has not been, I don't know how people do it with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 children. After that one, my body totally changed.
Absolutely.
Like, before I had Milan, I could go up Stone Mountain. It took me all of 15, 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Now I'm there a solid hour, 15 minutes. That's there and back. Like really. And I mean, even after I had her, it took me so much longer. It's like your body does something. And I see people who are out jogging. Like, one person that is like my she crush is Sonia Richardson Ross.
Yeah, love her.
The Olympian.
Awesome. Yeah.
And she has her baby, but she even talked about how her body, she had to retire because even her body isn't the same.
But I think that has to do with having a whole baby and your whole organs being pushed around your body from the baby.
And you're a little thicker than what you were before. Come on now.
I've always been a little curvy, a little thick.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the way that
it's all these assets have always.
You gotta think how what that baby does to your spine,
absolutely,
to that back part of your back. So
which is why I think this has less to do with her having a weight problem and more to do with her having an aging.
Well, we're just gonna have to agree to
and
disagree
a baby.
on this, friend.
She got a whole baby.
Yeah, that helped her gain some weight,
but not much. She gained that much weight.
Enough.
It's not the issue.
Enough.
That's not the issue. That is not the issue.
It's a factor. Maybe. I'm not saying that it's the whole factor, but it's a factor.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, y'all. While we're taking the commercial break,
ahead, talk about
y'all comment in the comments on Facebook Live.
Tony.
So what did Tony say? You know how I feel about weight being the issue for everything. That's right, Tony Green Campbell. Weight is not the issue for everything. Y'all comment in the comments on Facebook Live, and we will be right back with more of The Curve. All right, guys, we are back. So on to our next story.
Please.
Don't do that.
Please, because I got something to say.
Okay.
Because I'm telling on some people that bust me in my face with a ball when I was little.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there is a story going on right now, a thing that is happening in our news that, again, I feel so compelled to talk about. So there's a little boy in Canton, Michigan named Bryce Lindley who just happens to be a young man of color. He's 10 years old and he was outside at his elementary school playing dodgeball. He is playing dodgeball with other little children. They're out there, they're hitting each other with the ball.
And I feel like he had a little sting on his.
It might have been a little thing.
He
He
had
might
a
be.
little
He
sting.
might be a championship
Let me tell you
dodgeball
something.
player. He might be. He might be the fight in
tell you
these
something.
streets. He might
Yeah.
be.
He
might
need to be a professional.
He might. He might be. However, he was outside at school playing dodgeball with his friends. He hit another young man who happens
sorry,
not to
I'm
be a young
laughing.
man of color in the face. And he is now facing aggravated assault charges in juvenile.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's stupid. Do you know how many people got clothesline playing Red Rover, bring
Yeah.
somebody over?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how many people
It's not
at Scott
funny.
Elementary School? I remember Charlie Miller, the cornbread killer, the community director, and the PE teacher.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, that's what we called them when we were little. He used to make the boys, like, boys go through that change, and when they
Yeah.
start playing football, I mean, they would be wearing us out. The girls, when you play dodgeball
Yeah.
with the four walls, they would be throwing that ball, and they had so much speed. I used to get a kick out of just watching people get hit in the head.
Just get hit in the head.
Get that block knocked. They're kids. You have to learn to move, duck and move.
Okay, but here's the problem that I have with this whole story. Let me tell you. So the reason that we know that the other little boy is not a young man of color is because his mom, who wants to remain anonymous and wants her child to remain anonymous, but she did show her she did show her hands on camera, and she said that her son suffers from a brain condition, and that the young man hit her son on purpose. That with the ball he hit, which how would you not hit him on purpose if we're playing
That's the game.
dodgeball?
But
It's the whole
okay, so here's
purpose
the thing.
of the game.
There might be truth to that because fourth grade was the worst grade in my life. That's why I was giving Milan a little leniency, because a little flexibility. Because fourth grade was horrible, and I used to be the name taker.
The name taker.
Yeah, when my teacher left the room, I was a name taker.
Of course you were.
And so,
Yes,
and so
of course
when
you were.
gym time came and it was time to play, I was like, your boy here. Everybody was aiming for me.
Yeah.
However, they're kids.
They
You know what I
are.
mean? And the thing about it is it's more liability on the school, for instance. And, I'm laughing about it, but in all seriousness, there are children that cannot play contact sports. And if your child, like kids with cochlear implants.
But this is the problem that I have with this whole story is, so the mother says that the son, the young man that got hit, he suffered facial tissue damage. He also had a black eye and a bruised nose, and he also suffered a concussion. And
He should have ducked. He saw it coming.
But my thought is, well, why was he out there playing dodgeball? Because if I know that my son has a condition that he can't be, that this may be a problem, I'm going to specifically say he can't do X, Y, Z. The same way that when he went to summer camp this summer, I told the camp counselors he can only be in this feet of water because he cannot swim. So he can't go to the end of the other
But he
end
gonna
of the
tell
pool.
Milan to go in the swamp.
Yeah, but he can't swim, so he ain't going. No, he can go. Anything he can stand up in can come past his knees.
Okay,
You
go
can.
ahead.
That's my point. Your child, and then you have to tell your child, hey, these children are 10. Hey, 10-year-old little boy, you can't get hit in the head. So guess what? You can't play things. Football, soccer,
Let me tell you something.
dodgeball.
I
You
feel
can't
like
do none of that.
getting hit makes you a little tougher. Like
It does,
these
but
kids
he had a condition. That's my thing.
Yeah, well, he should have never been out there. She should
That
have
is the
alerted the
point.
school, and the school is at fault.
Absolutely.
And then I do see teachers, there are educators out here, and sometimes I have to let them know, well, the kid begged me to play, or they said, no, that's a liability.
Absolutely.
You need to get your behind over here and sit on the bleachers and watch the kids
and
play.
watch the kids play. Apparently, this young man had a brain stem infliction. which is why he
Yeah, his
was
neck
not.
got he wasn't looking. I'm gonna tell you what that was.
No, no,
The
no. That's
ball
the
was thrown.
pre-existing. The pre-existing condition is called chronic brainstem infliction, and that's the thing is
I'm
that.
telling you how it got inflamed.
Oh,
He wasn't paying attention.
well, yeah, no, but I'm
And
saying
if
that's the
he turned
pre-existing
around and
condition.
yeah, but it was worse than once if
Yeah,
that ball caught him from the
from the
side
side, and he wasn't
and
paying
he turned
attention.
around and he wasn't paying attention, that's how he got
Yeah,
that black eye and his brain because you got to think about the size of dodgeballs.
absolutely.
And I think that that's something on mom. Give you an example. You know, I talk about this often. Milan has an invisible disability.
Mhm.
Milan has severe allergies, eczema, and asthma.
Mhm.
I let the teachers know this. I make signs for the schools. I tell them it can cause her to be very irritable
Mhm.
during allergy season. Kids cannot bring nuts, shellfish, any of that around her.
Mhm.
There was a point in time where the substitute teacher did not read the signs on the wall. Her teacher got sick at work. They brought all the kids peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. She was
Mm.
about 2. They gave her a sandwich. She didn't know what was on the sandwich. She bit the sandwich and she got really sick.
Mhm.
I say that because I couldn't blame the substitute teacher.
Right.
I blame the school. Same
Mhm.
thing. Like you have to position it where it needs to go.
Yeah.
The blame goes on that teacher,
Yeah.
really. And then the school, because who would lie? You cannot say when you know someone has a pre-existing condition,
Yeah.
you can go out here and play. Just don't hit them. They're kids.
They're
It could
kids.
happen.
But I think in this particular instance, the punishment does not fit the crime. Like this
It
little boy
never
is being
does.
charged with
Yeah.
aggravated assault
Assault.
as a 10-year-old.
No, I told you
It's
all the story
ridiculous.
about how my friend's child, you know, they have the trailers at school.
Uh-uh.
Well, some when they have an overabundance of kids and they don't have enough classrooms,
Yeah,
they put the
yeah,
trailers
yeah,
outside.
yeah, yeah.
So he was in the trailer. His teacher told him he could go to the restroom. And he gets up to go to the restroom. However, in order to get into the building, you have to have a badge. The teacher didn't
Yeah.
give him a badge. So he's knocking on the windows. Nobody answers. He's pushing the button. Nobody answers. So he doesn't want to use the bathroom on himself.
Oh, I
So
did.
he
I feel
goes
like I saw
on the
this on the
side
news.
of the building and uses the bathroom.
Yeah.
Another teacher
Saw
sees
him.
him
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
writes him up for sexual indecent exposure.
Yeah,
Like they called
yeah.
the police. They never saw anything. Like he didn't whip it out in front of people. He went on the side of the building
Yep.
and they saw him. I'm like, indecent exposure? Nobody answered the door. There weren't bathrooms in the classroom.
So was he charged? Like what happened?
The full gamut went on, and they fought. They actually had to get an attorney, and they fought it, and it was just removed. I want to say like in May or June. However,
is
that had been on there
ridiculous.
for like a year and a half, 2 years. So you know, transferring or going to a new school,
Yeah.
what that looks like if you have any type
Yes.
of sexual incident on your record.
I guess my question is, when do brown children just get to be children? Like, when are we going to stop making them whole adults and just allow them to be kids like everybody else's kids? It's like, it seems to me like the world sees brown children and then automatically, all of a sudden, they are adults. I think young girls are done the same way. Like, especially when it comes to issues of rape or molestation. It's like, oh, well, she's developed, so
fast.
she being fast, or she's being this, or she's being that. We struggle with this a lot when dealing with the young women who are survivors of sex trafficking. It's like, oh, she's 14, but she's fully developed, so she must have done something to encourage this kind of behavior. And it's like, no, she's a 14-year-old
I get
girl who is developed, and that's not her fault. Like, in these cases, I'm so tired of adults not being the adults and blaming children
you have
in
to
these
think-
situations. It's frustrating.
I know, like, I have friends in Canton, and it's definitely, like, you know, comparable to an Alpharetta
Yeah.
or Buckhead.
My sister-in-law lives in Canton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a different thing, and I know
It's
that
it's a
they
upscale
are
neighborhood.
fearful of their children. 2 of them I have three friends that live there. Two out of the three send their kids to private schools
Yeah,
because it's that protection of that fear of brown or black, and they saw it at an early age. And it's just
absolutely.
sad. It's sad because the sad part about it is you don't want your kids to grow up thinking that all non-black people are this way.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. It's a struggle. It is an absolute struggle. I just hope and wish and pray that that people would start seeing children as children and hold adults accountable for adult behaviors.
I can agree.
I really do. I'm gonna scroll through really quick. Thank you everyone for watching. Really
Yes.
appreciate. I see everybody on there. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We're gonna take one more quick commercial break, and we will be right back with more of the curve. Okay, guys, we are back, and it is time now for a very quick, very fast Melissa's Moments of Sisterhood.
So, in this moment of sisterhood, I want to shout out all the sisters that I had the greatest moment with in Project Understanding with my Jewish roommate
Mm.
that had so many questions about black women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was so sweet, and I just think that in order for us to grow and get through some of these cultural barriers that we have, we're going to have to be transparent. So,
Absolutely.
friend, you know what I let her do?
You let her touch your hair.
Baby, I let her put her fingers
Oh,
through it. I let her put her
what? Look at
fingers
this
through
growth.
it. I let her spray it. You know, I had my braids
You
spray.
had your braids
So I let her spray it.
Ew.
And we talked about, you know, just hair care. Like
Yeah.
why hair is so important. Why, you know, my transitioning just culturally.
Yeah.
You know, after I graduate, I plan to cut my hair all off.
What you?
And I'm getting a fade. It's gonna be blonde again. I'm going back. Yeah.
Okay, friend.
And so I told her, I said, my grandmother and my mom felt like your hair is your crowning glory.
Facts.
You know, it's a sin. And so she really didn't understand it, but I could see that connected us both.
Yeah.
Because we talked about her hair and how her dyeing her hair, how in her culture people see it as assimilating.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I just dyed my hair because it's always been curly and dark, and I just wanted to lighten it up. So it really didn't have anything to do with assimilating, but we bonded. And
Yeah,
so
over hair.
my thing is, if we want to see in this movement things get better, there has to be a way for us to bond with our sisters that don't look like us. Like, can you relate to people at the emotional level, then the experiential level?
Fair. Let the people touch your hair. Is what Melissa's saying. Let them touch it.
And somebody was like, "What? You let her touch?" Baby, I let her touch my hair, my scarf. Yes.
You let her see the black girl scarf?
Baby, she saw the black girl scarf, the black girl braids, the braid spray. We went through it because I really wanted some value to be in that moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's deep, friend.
it is.
You have transcended.
I have, because there was one point in time
You might have got you don't want the smoke with this about this
Right.
hair. That
Right.
part.
clock girl.
Well, guys, that is going to do it for the show tonight. It seems like time goes by so fast when we are
know.
doing this show. Like,
And especially when we don't see each other.
oh yeah, because what y'all get when we don't ride together to the studio, what y'all get is
Yeah.
like the raw. This is what we do at home. This is like a
Right.
PG version of what we do.
Yeah, it was definitely PG
It's
tonight. I didn't
P-
mean to cuss. I'm sorry, Miss Molly Ann.
Y'all get the PG version of like our everyday conversations.
Yes.
But we are so appreciative that you guys took a little time to join us for the show. Be sure you subscribe to our Facebook and our YouTube channel. It's going to be rebrand.ly/the curve. Make sure that you follow us. We're about to have some really exciting stuff coming up. I cannot wait for y'all to see it. It's going to be amazing. Remember to work hard, pray hard, play hard, and slay hard. And don't forget to live life on the curve. See y'all next week.